Hey guys, this is Raymond Z, and I'm back. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to talk about Four Horsemen Studios' newest launch of their Mythic Legions line. It's called War of the Aetherblade, and it's actually going to be an interactive video game, or I guess PC game, that you can totally customize and do a bunch of other stuff to actually put yourself in the game somehow. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the figures that Four Horsemen is going to put out with this game. Very excited about these. There's going to be 4 in all, and they're deluxe packs. And I will go over each one of them individually and kind of explain my feelings and my thoughts as to which ones are a good deal or not so good a deal, okay? Mythic Legions and Four Horsemen Studios are the people who bring you Mythic Legions, but they also brought you Seventh Son and a lot of the He-Man Classic line. So you know their work. You may not have known you knew their work, but they're there. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see what we think. Okay, so the realm of the mythos is in your hands. That's kind of like their little slogan for this jump off. War of the Aetherblade. Wave of 4 Deluxe Legion Builder packs offered as part of a crowdfunding campaign for the Mythic Legion's Tactics game. Like I said, we're not talking about the game because I'm not a gamer. I'm a toy collector. So I reached out to Four Horsemen to say, hey, I really think the game is cool, but can I buy the figures individually? And they said, absolutely. So, there's only 10 days left on this crowdfunding, but let's take a look at what we got here. And by the way, this video is brought to us today by Aussie Sci-Fi Collectibles. This is my buddy Jeff's brainchild. He said, hey, why don't you talk about this stuff on a video? And I said, okay, because we were having a conversation about it, and he said I should make a video like this. So I said, wow, that'll be something different. Excuse me. So, first off, we're going to talk about my favorite one, which is the Deluxe Female Orc Builder. Now, the Deluxe Female Orc Builder, she is going to come with her accessories: an orc sword, a crossbow, a quiver, an arrow that fits into the crossbow, a bone-handled sword, dwarf mace, a flail, skull-topped axe, no skull, wooden shield, a warhammer, 2 sets of pauldrons. For you people out there who don't know, which I didn't know the actual name for them, a pauldron is what we incorrectly call in Texas a shoulder pad. So, pauldrons would be armor, whereas shoulder pad is a pad. A pauldron is made of armor. Okay? 2 folds of armor, 2 loin pieces, 2 sets of feet and ankles, because you can't have your feet without ankles, and 2 torsos and 2 sets of arms. You can damn near make 2 figures out of this one pack. It is outstanding. Let's see here. Additionally, it'll come with 4 heads, a repainted Juno head, which If you're familiar with the Mythic Legion's line, Juno is a female warrior. She's a barbarian, but in this case, she'll be painted like an orc. An orc half helmet head. So you'll see a helmet, and then underneath the helmet will stop right around the nose and mouth. And then you'll see the jaw and cheeks of an orc and maybe the tusk teeth sticking out. A repainted barbarian female head and an Iron Knight helmet head. So in the picture here, in picture 1A, you'll see what they're talking about with the Juno head and the crossbow. And look at the armor. Look at the detail on these guys. Don't just shrug this off as another action figure. You'll be sorely mistaken. Look at the pauldrons that are on the shoulder, kind of slope and they're feminine. And this figure is just really nice. It's really, really nice. It's just such not enough to explain it, but the leg armor, and you can see like they were talking about, she's got armor all the way up from her toes to her knees, and then her thighs are exposed, and then she's got these side armor pieces, which I believe they called falls armor. Then she's got her torso, and her arms are completely covered in armor. But this is a really, really cool figure, so let's see what else we can get. Alright, right here, picture 1B shows, I guess, what we would call our stereotypical, in our mind, orc warrior female. And she's got her flail there, and she's got an axe, and she's got her bone-hilted sword hanging off her leather scabbard. This is not a scabbard because it's not completed, but her hilt there. And it's got the fabric piece for the crotch piece there that covers up her lady bits. And she's got her metal coconut bra. And she's got armor from her knees to her ankles, but then she's barefooted. And I love that look. I really do. I think that's something different that you don't see a lot of. Her hands are exposed, and then her shoulders there have the pauldrons, and they're spikier than the last photo. And then there's that half orc face helmet we were talking about. And then she's got a ponytail hanging out, because why not? All right. And the next picture, which would be picture 1C, shows her holding her shield, and it's a really nice, like Viking-esque shield that's got nips and chips out of it, and it's got the wood grain on it. She has her flail in the left hand now, and it's just kind of another look at her as the picture before, but just a standard standing look instead of a running look. But still awesome. And then the last picture in the list is the picture that has all the equipment, which we went over just a while ago. But the amount of stuff that you get with this particular figure is just extremely good. Gosh, that's not good enough an adjective there. Outstanding. Look at all those weapons. Look at all the armor pieces, the heads, and that one head there with the bone horns coming out the side. Well, those are replaceable. You can move those bones in and out, and you could put wings or antlers or a whole bunch of different stuff. All right, so that was the female orc builder. The next one we'll look at is the Deluxe Male Orc Builder. And he is from the, both of these orcs were from the Legion of Arethyr. I believe I'm saying that right. And he's going to come with... Alrighty. So now we're going to take a look at the Deluxe Male Orc Builder. He is from the Legion of Arethyr. I think I'm saying that right. He'll come with, his accessories will be a ball and chain, like a shackle, a bone knife, a bone-handled knife, a buster sword, a dwarf hammer, a dark spear, a large sword, a turtle shell shield. That is super awesome. That is such a cool piece of art that they put in here. It's amazing. 2 sets of pauldrons, 2 falds armor pieces, 2 loin pieces, neck armor, plus 2 torsos. Additionally, there'll be 4 heads, an unhelmeted orc head, a helmeted orc head, a bearded orc head, and a bearded orc head with war paint. So, the very first one you see here is the one that has the painted, the war paint head, the bearded head with the war paint, and he's mostly armored. He's got armor from his knees to his feet, and then he's got the loin armor there is actually kind of more like an animal hide. And then he's got his his torso is covered with like knight's armor, and then he's got his pauldrons, and they're sleek and sloping, and they look pretty good. And he's got this giant hammer with spikes at the end and a giant mallet, almost like a cartoonishly big hammer. It just very cool piece. The next thing you could make would be this orc that has the pauldrons are different. If you notice from the other picture, they're spiky and more aggressive, and he's got his big fanged teeth sticking out, and he's got his ears and his green head, and you can see the wrinkles on his brow, and his chest is exposed, and oh my god, he's been to the gym, and he's got giant muscles. His hands are and forearms are covered in armor, and then he's got, for his loincloth, he doesn't have that. He's got this larger loincloth to hide his twig and berries while he's in battle, and then his thighs to his knees are exposed, and you can see, man, he definitely hasn't missed the lower body section of his workout. And then he's got his calves are covered in armor, and then his feet as well. Now, like I said before, I prefer my orcs to be barefooted. I just think that look is cooler. So here's the same guy, but he's not in an action pose, and he's holding the great sword, and he's got the turtle shell shield, and he's just kind of a stoic standing, and it looks great. One other thing I wanted to show was kind of a comparison between this figure and some of the others, but we'll do that at the end of the video. I'm just kind of running through to show you what you get with these guys. Alright, so the next one we're going to show off is the Deluxe Female Elf Builder, and she's in Zion's Flock. That's her faction. And she'll come with an elf shield, a short bow, a quiver, an arrow, a Zwelderhander sword, an elf short sword, a Kopesh, an elf twin-bladed sword, 2 sets of pauldrons, 2 falds armor, and that's the armor that goes around their waist, guys. It's it covers the side of your thigh, but not the front of it, 2 2 loin pieces, and 2 torsos. Then additionally, she'll have 4 heads in this pack. A hooded female head, a normal female elf head, brown, this is brown hair, a 2.0 bucket helmet, so that's kind of a armored knight head, and a elf full helmet. Okay, so the elf armor, what we think of when we think of elf armor, and at least what Mythic Legions has made us think of what elf armor looks like, kind of pointed and aerodynamic. So the first one, she's got that giant shield there. Do you see that? Oh my goodness, that is such a cool shield. And she's got those pauldrons on her shoulders, and she's got that 2-handed sword over her back. She's got that leather strap, or what looks to be leather. You can see that her hair is down, but it's tied in the back. She's got full armor, fully armored from head to toe, but the armor is colored in different colors, like for example, her feet are green. Her shins and calves are silver. Her knees seem to be accented with green. Then you see those, what did we say those were? The Fald's armor. To the side there is kind of a brown. Then your eye is drawn to the center of the torso, and you see that she's got green armor there with brown highlights and chainmail underneath. If you look at her arm, you'll see that there's actually some chainmail. The next picture is her in an action stance with one of those really cool Khopesh swords in her hands. Or I guess one in each hand, excuse me. And those click together, if you didn't know. So you can make this long staff, or I guess not staff, it'd be more like a polearm weapon. Pretty cool. Alright, so the next one is what they were talking about with the female hooded head. And she's got her brown chest armor, her brown armor instead of that green glossy armor. It's more of a muted brown. She's got green pauldrons on her shoulder instead of the silver ones. She does have silver forearms. She's got a tan leather belt crossing her chest, which that's new. That's a new thing they just came out with. The loin piece is like metal instead of being fabric. It has more of a metal look, and the folds there on her sides are green, kind of a metallic green, which matches her feet and the pauldrons on her shoulders. Ties it all in real nicely. Okay, she's got that long bow in her hand. So, not a bad one, but not a great one in my opinion. So we'll get into that on the next, at the end of the video, excuse me. So next I wanted to show off the Deluxe Male Elf Builder. He's part of Zion's Flock. Let's see, accessories. A longbow, a quiver, arrow, sword, knight sword with sheath. Now that's really cool because they didn't start giving sheaths with the swords until recently with this one ranger that they just did on the very last Fund Me set. So that's really exciting. Large elven sword, elf axe, knight shield, 2 sets of pauldrons, 1 falds, 2 loin pieces, 2 torsos. Additionally, there'll be 4 heads, a hooded elf yellow hood, and that's new, totally new, or color anyways, a normal elf head, brown hair, open face elf helmet, whispering, and full helmet elf. So, right here, the very first picture you get to see, beautiful, just awesome, okay? The folds and the loin piece are green, and they match the torso, which matches the forearms, which matches the pauldron. It's just like, oh my god, and it's just outstanding. The Under Armour of the arm, and I guess the thighs and the shins and feet are silver, and they match the blade of the axe and the rim of the shield. And the shield's really nice. It's painted. The second to the inner to the bullseye of it is painted brown. So here's another picture of the same person turned sideways, and you can see his pointy little elfy ears and his flowing brown hair and his stoic cheekbone and jawline. Just look really, really good. Also, look at the detail on that axe. I mean, how badass is that axe blade? It's even got a blade at the very end of the handle, just in case you're facing the opposite direction in your swing and you need to bring it back and stab an orc in the neck. Next will be essentially the same thing, but an action pose, and he's holding the elf sword and the shield in the left hand now. Here's the other body you can make, and it's cool because you go from having something that looks like an elf hero, possibly, maybe a prince of the elf kingdom, to having kind of a lowly lieutenant or an archer, this guy, you can tell, is a soldier, and probably not the hero base, but he's there to guard the treetop canopy from being molested by the orcs. And he's got a bow, and the loin piece is now a rich copper color, which matches his torso. The forearms are green, nice, that he kind of a shiny forest green, and the folds on the side of his thighs there are green, but with a metallic look to them. The feet didn't change from the feet and legs didn't change from the figure above, but the pauldrons did. They now are silver with an ornate design. And then, of course, the helmeted elf head, you can see, is an elf head that's helmeted. So that's why they called it that. All right, well, we got that done. So now I'm off script, and I'm going to kind of give you my feelings on why you should or shouldn't buy, one of these deluxe builder packs. For the orc, we're going to start with the orc female. I say that she is a definite, wholehearted, 100% yes, buy this, okay? It is just cram full of awesome accessories and is a definite win. And I want to compare her to what Mythic Legions has out as far as female orcs. The Advent of Decay line has an Orc Legion builder in it, okay? And you'll see that you've seen some of these parts before, and that's okay. You see the half-orc helmeted head, you see the spiky pauldron, and the forearms and the feet and the shins are all pieces that are in this deluxe builder. As well as the folds are there, but her chest is different in the Orc Legion Builder 2 pack, okay? So, if you were to get that, or if you already have that orc pack, then you can customize it, or if just with the deluxe pack, you can make a different orc female and have it go with the other one, which is what I'm gonna do. Also, the other one came with a battle axe, which you don't have, and a spear that you don't have here. But really neat head swaps that you can make on these figures. The next one is the Queen of the orcs, and her name is Queen Urkaza. Urkazaa. And if you look at her body, you see that every single bit of her, from toe to shoulder, is what you will get in the deluxe pack. The thing you don't get is the head that has the skull headdress and, ponytail holder, I guess. Okay, you also don't get a spear. But you get every single bit of this female, which is awesome because you can have figures look more closely like her. And I like the metal bra, as it were. My sons, neither of them like that. They think, oh, well, you wouldn't wear that into battle. I was like, well, you would if you were Red Sonja or, Lady Death or Vampirella. They all did that. They all wore that. So I'm down with this because this is totally, a 90s comic book, So I think it's really neat. Next, we will talk about the male orc because I think he is just outstanding on that pack as well. The 4 different heads. Let's see. Let's go with the heads first. First of all, you can compare him to the Legion of Arthur, which was a different set, and Varthog is the figure that I'm talking about here, and he comes with a warhammer and a repurposed elven shield, okay, but it's silver and it's got copper accents, and he's got an actual fur loin piece, and then he's got metal from his ankles to his knees, and then his feet are exposed. It's so cool. I love that in my orcs. I love that. And then he's got his pauldrons and this bearded stoic face. Really cool. Well, that's the same head you get in the Deluxe Orc Builder pack. So you can almost make this guy, except you don't have any of the armor. So I guess you can't almost make him, but you can make one that looks like him. Also, the head that's has the war paint on it is the same bearded orc head, and they put the war paint on it, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Uruk-hai, from Lord of the Rings. So it's kind of neat. I like it. I think the orc male builder is a definite go buy. All right, so far we've got the female that's a go buy. We've got the male orc that's a go buy. Definitely pieces that you don't want to miss out on. Figures you don't want to miss out on. The next one we'll talk about is the female elf. Now, unfortunately, I don't think there's enough in this, okay? There are a lot of different figures in mythos or in the mythos of Mythic Legions that are way better. And yes, this is supposed to be a Legion builder, so you can build up your army. But for example, Event of Decay has Miria Golden Branch, and she's got a little crown, adjacent to her head because she's the queen of the elves, and her pauldrons are the same, and she's got the loin part, and her armor is green with a kind of almost a turquoise and way more ornate. She's got her gauntlets on, which actually look like they would be something of royalty because they've got that metal inlay, and then they have kind of a bead or a jewel accented with it, and then it goes into what looks to be a leather hand or leather covered hand, and her feet are covered in leather. This figure is 100% better than either of the figures you could build in the pack. Now you say, well, but Raymond Z, we know that. We know that this is a better figure. We're trying to build, accents to go with it or people to go with it. So what about the hooded head? Well, yeah, the hooded head is very reminiscent of, say, the Elf Ranger, except the Elf Ranger in Mythic Legions is a male. So it is, but I just don't feel like there's enough. I don't feel like there's enough there. The weapons there we've seen 100 times. There's not enough parts to build. Yes, there's another torso, but there's just not enough pieces to really build. Like the orc female, you can damn near build 2 pieces, 2 complete figures right out of the same box. Whereas the elf female, you cannot. So my feelings on the elf pack is it is a miss or a pass. I would pass on this. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is the male Deluxe builder pack. I say this is a get. Okay, this is definitely one you want. If you can only buy, 2, then you should get both the female and the male orc. But if you can buy 3, or if you're just really into elves, then you should get this male elf pack. A whole lot of really good pieces in there. You can almost build 2 figures. That sword with the scabbard is new and exciting and just great because, see, before, what Mythic Legions has done is they just kind of, none of the swords have scabbards. They just fit into a leather loop on the figure and it looks totally cool. But realistically, if you're going for more of a realistic look, it's just an open blade swinging around. It's like, oh my God, that would be hell on your calves and, hips as the thing moved. Or if you're riding a horse, it would jab the horse in the side the whole time. So it's kind of unrealistic, but it for a toy, a very articulated and detailed toy, you forgive it. Well, now they've made a scabbard. So, awesome. Now, the elf here is very reminiscent. Well, because they use all the same parts. They use the parts and change them around. But he is like the Elf Ranger from the Advent of Decay line. He has also got parts from the Soul Spiller Shadow Elf Ranger. Okay, and that guy is, of course, he's painted up and look like a drow. So you can't really compare them visually together because you've got one guy who looks like Dritz the Drow, and you're like, whoa, where's the panther? And then you're like, you got this other guy that looks like just a green elf, super cool, but you're like, well, these don't compare. Well, no, they don't, but the weapons do, and you can see how they have similarities in their armor and in their weapons. And the king of the elves is also a really prominent figure that I missed out on. He's sold out now, but he is from the Advent of Decay, and it's Lord Aiden. And I really like his head, and if you, with the antlers and everything on it, and if you look at the figure, you can look at the armor the way it's painted brown on his chest and then ink washed, and then he's got those nice green, like light green but shiny metallic green accents, just like what you will get from the army builder, okay, male, that they're, that I'm talking about. So, in my opinion, orc female, the orc male, and the elf male are definitely figures to buy if you can. I say pass on the elf female. There's just not enough in that pack to warrant it. So, these are my feelings, and it's worth what you paid for them. But thank you for watching my new video, and tell me what you think about this. Should I do more videos like this? It makes it kind of longer, but I enjoyed it. It was neat, and this will probably be my best filmed video because it won't be shaky because I'm just recording my voice. So, all right. Well, that's what I have to tell you today. Go check out Four Horsemen Studios. Go check out Aussie Sci-Fi and Collectibles. If you live in Australia or New Zealand and you're not buying toys from Aussie Sci-Fi, then you're just throwing your money in the ocean. All right? Or up in the air, in the fireplace. Whatever analogy you want to use. Feeding it to a goat. Don't feed your money to a goat. Give it to Jeff. That's the slogan of his business. All right? So, this has been a Rat Sandwich production.